I believe it is mainly a topic that offers opportunities for developing speculative thinking or even for experimentation. The moment I heard about the theme of today's conference, one name came to mind, Oded Ezer, an Israeli typographer. The first time I encountered his work at the Graphic Design Biennial in Brno in 2010. There he presented his unique approaches to creating typefaces and typographic projects in Hebrew and Latin script. A great example are projects from biotypography series. You can see special ants as typograph creatures. Where he works with biological systems and organic forms to create or modify typefaces into hybrid species of insects and animals. In addition to the term biotypography, also use the term typosperma. You can see Oded as a scientist with typosperm. Ezer's projects, posters and graphic works have found their way into galleries and publications around the world and are part of the permanent collections of leading museums such as the New York Museum of Modern Art and the Museum für Gestaltung in Zurich. The next part of the lecture will focus on the timeless inspiration provided by nature. We'll occasionally venture beyond the realms of design and typography. In my lecture, I will remain within the area of the Czechia. I will first delve into history, to the time when my country was known as the Kingdom of Bohemia. The first Czech king was Vratislav II, who reigned 1085 to 1092. To mark his coronation, the Vyšehrad Codex was published, a luxurious, richly illuminated gospel book. The initials are evidently influenced by nature. Here, for instance, you can see the seated figure of Prince Wenceslas inside and initials formed from plant motifs. However, Vratislav wasn't the only one who left behind beautiful medieval books. I would like to mention the Bible of King Wenceslas IV. At least 9 workshops collaborated on this work. The Bible is decorated with plant motifs, most commonly in the form of a plant ornament known as a bordure. A bordure may frame the text or image on all sides as well as only partially. The decoration typically takes the form of freely twisting shoots with stylized leaves of acanthus, grapevine, ivy, or other botanically identifiable plants. The book is further adorned with realistic, heraldic, and fantastical animals, including the kingfisher, a favorite heraldic symbol of King Wenceslas IV. Now I'd like to show you something very, very special. This is the Voynich manuscript. This mysterious manuscript is a late medieval illustrated book. The author is unknown. It's written in unknown language, and it depicts a number of unknown plants. It was likely created in Prague sometime in the first half of the 15th century. Based on the illustrations, the book is divided into several sections. The botanical section contains images of plants, some of which have not yet been identified. The astronomical section contains astronomical and astrological diagrams and symbols, as well as sketches of the zodiac. In the biological section, most of the illustrations depict miniatures of naked women bathing in some strange formation. The cosmological section features illustrations vaguely resembling maps of strange landscape of cosmological sketches. In the pharmacological section, you can see parts of plants, roots, leaves. These may be pharmaceutical recipes. And the following section perhaps contains pharmaceutical recipes made of those plants. The text has been deciphered, not yet. Even the Secret Service have been unable to decipher it. And experts from the Technical University of Ostrava are currently attempting to decipher it using a supercomputer. The entire manuscript contains approximately 34,000 words. Examining the first 5,000 words of the manuscript required some 10 million calculations. It's so much. Findings to date indicate that it is not a cipher, a natural language that someone apparently spoke, which is now forgotten. Maybe you can see details of the letters. The author of Voynich manuscript is unknown. However, the manuscript was already present at the court of Rudolf II. Here you can see Rudolf II in a portrait painted by one of his court painters, Hans von Aachen. Among other titles, Rudolf II was King of Bohemia and Hungary and Holy Roman Emperor. He was a great collector of curiosities and a patron of alchemists. During his reign, Prague was home to a large number of artists, scientists, charlatans. And so, for example, the famous mathematician and astronomers Tycho Brahe and Johannes Kepler, or the alchemists John Dee and Edward Kelly could meet there side by side. At the same time lived in Prague the Jewish Rabbi Lev, Yehuda Liva ben Betzalel. According to a legend, he created the artificial man called Golem. One of the most famous painters of the court of Rudolf II was Giuseppe Arcimboldo. He became renowned as an eccentric manierist portraitist who created portraits in the style of still lifes using various objects, fruits, flowers, and animals. In this style, he created famous series of allegories depicting the 4 seasons. We can also see Arcimboldo's influence on the work of the prolific Czech animated film director and versatile visual artist Jan Švankmajer. The alchemical and Kabbalistic history of Prague is one of his sources of inspiration. In his conception, animation is transformation or transmutation of matter from an object to its parts or sense and vice versa. This principle is closely related to alchemy. Let's take a look at a clip from Švankmajer's film Possibilities of Dialogue, in which Švankmajer drew inspiration specifically from the paintings of Giuseppe Arcimboldo. I try to show you. I hope I be successful. I try to use shellac television. was a very short sample. In addition to his filmmaking, Jan Švankmajer is also renowned for his collages and three-dimensional objects through which he brings to life entirely new fantastical creatures. He described this as a divine act of creation intended to mitigate the effects of ecological disasters on our fauna. At this point, I'm beginning to feel that my lecture has strayed too far from the realms of design and typography, so I'll try to return to those topics through the figure of František Štorm. First, I'll mention him in a different context. František Štorm is a Czech visual artist and musician, best known as the singer-guitarist of legendary black metal band Master's Hammer. Illustrations, like songs, are mostly inspired by a horror theme. František Štorm likes occultism and hunting rituals. His paintings are graphic works, feature fantastical animals, often inspired by the insect world, as well as strange ear creatures and humanoid apparitions. František Štorm is, however, primarily a typographer of international acclaim. He founded his Štorm Type Foundry, a small type foundry for his own work. So far, Štorm has produced more than 60 font families. He also digitized a number of beautiful typefaces by classic Czech typographers. We have journeyed together from medieval illuminated manuscript through the fantastical worlds of alchemists to the present day. Nowadays, visual artists, thanks to modern technology, can truly bring their dreams to life, much like as the eccentric seekers of gold and the elixir of youth under Emperor Rudolf II once attempted to do. Even today, we are fascinated by the mysteries of life and death, the evolution of organisms, and beauty of the human body. And if 21st century visual artists cannot realize their dreams, they can at least, thanks to advanced digital technologies, visualize them. And thanks to our Typozone 6 competition exhibition, our students at Tomaš Bata University in Zlín also attempt to visualize their fantastical dreams. I'd like to show you a few of their projects. Filip Březina was captivated by flocks of flying birds. He created a poster titled, "This is a landing page." Barbara Miklová has a similar theme in her video. I try to find it. Valeria Gabajová is enchanted by the Euphrates River Delta. Nikola Čermáková was inspired by the growth rings on the tree trunks and spider webs. Adam Hilo is fascinated by the properties of moss. Barbara Pastorova in her project Meet That Hearts imagines a strange transformation of people. Veronika Roubalova uses a microscope to examine the origin of typography. Philip Castle also works as a scientist in laboratory and presents the results of his researches. Unfortunately, over the centuries, a whole series of real pandemics or insidious diseases have emerged that are certainly not artificial. These diseases have mercilessly claimed and continue to claim millions of lives, whether it was the bubonic plague, the Spanish flu, or endless cancerous growth. I show you a video of Kristina Londinova. I don't know why it's a problem. Yeah, now I see. Kratochvil photosynthesis produces not only oxygen but also typefaces as a byproduct. And Sylvia Jakubkova tried to come off this last up with her own version of the evolution of life and earth, evolution through the eyes of a typographer. The poster depicts an original alphabet in the form of fantastical primitive organism. I bid you farewell with forest greeting. Thank you all for your attention.